Hello there, ladies and gents. So I'm out on a bit of a walk. It makes a nice change from being stuck in the house all the time. I tend to like to come and sit up on this bench up here whenever I'm feeling a little bit down or if I'm stressed out. Today it's just a nice day and I figured I'd come and have a sit and a drink. But I wanted to ask you guys a question today. It kind of pertains to the video response that I made to Weird Text CVP about can the ghost box make you more sensitive to spirits. In that video I did say that I felt that we all have the ability to see and sense spirits. It's just a case of exercising the muscle, so to speak. And what I wanted to talk about today, in very much the same kind of vein, is do we as a species have the ability to foresee future events? Do we have precognitive powers? Now, the main reason why I mention this is not only have I experienced this over the years, but I've had other family members and family members of their family members have the same kind of thing. And I've spoken to numerous people that have also had these kind of events. Now, some of these things could be coincidence, but a lot of these things are much harder to explain. I'll give you an example. One of the recent ones that I've had could simply be a coincidence. When I uploaded the video explaining why I haven't been uploading very often, I ended up gaining 2 YouTube subscribers, which took my total from 10 to 12. So one night I went to bed and I had this dream that it was mainly just a series of pictures really, and it was of my channel statistics for some reason, and I had 11 subscribers. So I woke up, I went to upload a video to another channel of mine, and of course I had 11 subscribers. As I say, very strong chance that that could be coincidence. But over the years I've had other things happen that are a lot harder to really put down to coincidence. I used to play this game called Conquer Online, and it's a MMORPG. I used to play this game quite heavily with a few friends of mine, and in this game you can get these items called item quality known as super. Now these super items you typically have to pay for. That's how the company makes their money. You have to upgrade your items and turn them into super. Now for you to be able to go around and kill the in-game monsters and get one of these super items, it's frankly like winning the lottery. And that's not really much of an exaggeration. I mean, I played that game for about 8 years and I only knew 1 or 2 people who actually managed to get one drop. Now, one night, I hadn't been playing this game for quite a while, and I had this dream that if I went to an area in the game called Wind Plain and I killed the enemy called Poltergeist, that I would have a super item drop. I saw it in the dream. I saw myself attacking the monster dying, and of course this super item dropping on the floor. It's quite distinctive. It's got quite a red shading to it. So I picked the item up, I opened my inventory and I could see the writing. The thing is, things didn't look completely accurate. It's supposed to say super next to the weapon. Instead it said Slimer. It was just odd looking as well. It looked as if it had been corroded by acid. So that could be coincidence, right? Well, I woke up remembering this dream. I thought it was quite a strange dream to have, and I thought, I wonder. So I went to that area of the game, started killing those enemies, and of course I got a super weapon drop. Once again, could still be coincidence. So a few months later I had the same kind of dream to do with the same game, to do with the same kind of thing, this time in an area known as Desert City. So of course I wake up, I go to Desert City thinking, well, you remember what happened last time, let's act on this, let's see if we get something. And after killing probably about 100 monsters, I get a super weapon drop. So by this point, I'm starting to wonder whether or not it's a coincidence. As I mentioned, similar things have happened with family members. My Uncle Gary, who I was named after, back when he was alive, he was a Buddhist. He was quite a spiritually aware person. And family members would often tell me stories about the sort of things that he would do. I mean, he would sit there in front of you and tell you to pick a number between 1 and 100, and he'd just kind of focus on you for a bit, and you'd sit there thinking about the number, and he would just come out and say it, and he'd kind of leave you speechless because he'd get it 90-something% of the time. Well, one of the things that I was told when I was younger, he was on holiday with his brothers and sisters at one point, and they were all on the beach, you know, just having a bit of a laugh, just generally having a good time. And all of a sudden, he goes really pale. He really does not look well at all. So they run over to him and they ask him what's wrong. And all he can respond to them with is, something bad has happened at home. Anyway, when they get back home, they find out that it was pretty much at that time that my grandparents got my uncle's test results back. He had recently been ill, and that was when they found out that he had leukemia. It corresponded with the time pretty much perfectly. So after a while of hearing these sort of things, you start to wonder whether or not there's actually something going on. They also mentioned to me another case that happened on my aunt's side of the family. She's not a blood relative, she just married my mum's brother. She had a family member going back a few years ago who had some exceptionally odd abilities. I apologise if this is windy, I'm trying to shield the mic as much as I can. She had some quite exceptional abilities, one of them involving spirits. Her daughter had fallen in love with a Polish soldier, and at the time this was pretty much forbidden. He was on the you know, Polish weren't allies, they were considered our enemies. So he went off to war, and at the time mother didn't know anything about this. A few months go past. One night she has a dream, or well, I don't think it was a dream, I think she just woke up and happened to see the soldier standing there. And apparently he turned to salute her, and she realised that a lot of him was missing. Turns out they actually found out later that this guy had stood on a landmine. She told the daughter about what happened the next morning, whether the soldier had mentioned to her that the daughter and himself were a couple. I'm not really sure, but she seemed to be very aware of the situation. There was another quite odd encounter with her. The family was sat around the dinner table one day on a Sunday, having a nice family meal. One of them was yet to turn up, and they had no explanation why. And she basically said to everyone sat around the table, and this quite changed the atmosphere considerably, in 10 minutes the police are going to turn up at the door and tell us that Freddie's died. So what happens? 10 minutes later, police turn up and tell her that Freddie died. So after a while you start to wonder about these things, whether or not they're coincidence. And it wouldn't surprise me if we do have some kind of precognitive sense. But it also wouldn't surprise me seeing other things that you hear about over the years, that as a species we have a lot of other different things. I mean, look at these people in certain scenarios where it's a life-threatening scenario and someone's pinned under a car or something like that, and this is a relatively weak person, yet they somehow manage to lift the car and save the person trapped underneath. It's really odd when you think about it. So I suppose my question to you, and I'd really be interested if any of you have any precognitive dreams or memories that have come to pass, that you know, you share them with me. That'd be really cool. But I also want to know what your thoughts are on the subject. I'm gonna get walking, because as you can probably see, the weather's starting to take a turn for the worse. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say in this video, and I hope I didn't bore you, because I just always feel like I bored people. But anyway, I'll see you soon. Thank you.